5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. When I was way, way younger, Robin, I worked for the New York Times, believe it or not. I didn't do anything grand. I worked in the mailroom, and it was probably the lowest job that exists in the New York Times. And then maybe 3 years after I got that job, one of my friends started dating a girl, and her father was a big shot with the New York Times. And so I went over to their home. They had a Christmas party, and I went over to their home, and it was this beautiful home, and I said, "Whoa, look at this! Look at the size of this house, right?" And then they were showing me pictures. Oh yeah, we went on vacation. Let me show you this. And they had yachts, and they went on trips everywhere. And I was thinking, "Holy cow, he really makes a lot of money. I wonder if I could get a raise. I'm not making that much working in the mailroom. You know,
wouldn't that be something?"
And I remember bringing it up, not to him. I was too intimidated, but I remember bringing it up to a friend, not even that friend, but I remember the conversation was, well, you got to work your way up to that. Eventually you'll get there. And I thought to myself, okay, if I ever get there, I am not going to forget the guys in the mailroom. They're going to they're not going to have to worry about how to pay for a muffler. Because
Exactly.
at that time, I had a muffler with a hole in it that I was constantly retaping with duct tape. You remember those days.
I do remember
right?
those days. Yes, I do.
So what do you call that? They call that now income inequality. I'm glad
Yes.
they finally gave a name to that. But that's what it was. And it is. And is it fair? I don't know. I mean, you listen to political people, and one will tell you one thing, another tell you another thing. And I certainly don't think there should be a law that says you have to do this. But I don't know. It's something that I haven't thought about as much as our next two guests. How about I end my intro that way? Our next two guests are going to speak about a book. Have they written it together, Robin? The Third Way? Mm-hmm. They've written this book together. It's The Third Way, The Economic Reform or Social Revolution, The Solution to Income Inequality, Building Inclusive Capitalism Through Employee Ownership, How Wealth is Created. I'm going to understand all that after the interview, I guess. Veni W. Newsom, a Senior Vice President of Paul Mitchell Systems, a real estate and equity investor and a guest lecturer, and goes on and on and on. And Upendra Shivalkula, I'm going to probably mispronounce your name, nominated by Governor Chris Christie in the state of New Jersey as a commissioner to the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, and also has a list of credentials. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being on the air with us today.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Larry. And Robin.
So,
Good morning.
Veni and Upendra, did I say your names totally bad, or how did I do on the names?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I say you're keeping Ocala alive in Florida, right?
I'm doing that. I'm keeping it alive.
And they work well together. Veni is a Republican, and Upendra is a Democrat. So that's
okay.
The amazing driving force of this book.
There you go. Okay. Well, thank you for being on.
Yeah, I'm about as right-wing as it gets. Right-wing Republican, Tea Party, Libertarian, you name it. And Upendra was the former deputy speaker, a Democrat for the state of New Jersey. But we've come together on probably the most important issue of our time.
Okay, so a question I have, the first one would be, should we let the government dictate through the private sector how to pay their employees?
No, I don't think we're not advocating for government. It's like, what we are saying is that we live in a capitalistic society. We know that capitalism works, but it is not fair. That's where the income inequality there. What we are suggesting, and policy-wise, is to enable corporations. The government can enable corporations to redesign the capitalism through employee ownership. What happens, suppose you are working in the mailroom, and if you imagine you had shares of the New York Times, as the shares of the New York Times go up, your wealth also would have gone up, and also you become a much more productive employee because you are, you have a piece of the pie, and you take the ownership. And also, when employees are owners, the labor, the capital, all of them are aligned together. The overall productivity goes up, and the companies make more money. That means the pie is getting bigger.
Okay.
And so they have to they share the piece of the pie.
Okay, but how do you do that? How do you tell my boss to make me a part owner in this radio station? He's never going to go for that.
Yeah.
He
He'd be very smart if he did, because I'm a business person, and what the studies have shown, there was a fabulous book put out called Shared Capitalism. It's 500 pages. It's very scholarly. It's not something for the beach. What it shows with over 100 years of data that nothing's 100%, but virtually every time you do this, virtually every business metric goes up that you want. Sales, profits, productivity, the things you don't want, absenteeism, other things like that go down, less turnover, less unemployment. So basically what happens is the company becomes more productive, more profitable, and it's a win-win for everybody. The employees win because now they get a shared equity. They don't just get their wage; they also get a piece of capital. The company does better, virtually almost all the time does better, and more importantly, and we'll talk more about this, the social implications. Even the government wins. You can do this idea the way we've structured it without any cost to the government. Let me say something, Larry and Robin. What we all know. Everybody knows, that what we're doing now is not working. Not only is it not working, we show in a book through historical documentation, not only is it not working, it never will work. There's really these two false choices. One is this socialistic redistribution, big government model. We know that doesn't work. That's sometimes led to revolution and terrible violence.
Yeah. Right.
Massive. The other side is this plutocracy, rule by the rich. We're actually going now. 80% of all capital wealth is owned by only 20% of the people. We're getting closer to 10% of the population owning 90% of the capital. That is a definition of feudalism. That's literally going back to where we were when the founding fathers left England. I'm going to give you a mind-blowing quote. You ready for this one? This is by President George Washington. Anybody ever heard of him? America will be the most favorable country of any kind in the world for persons of industry and frugality possessed of moderate capital to inhabit. George Washington. Thomas Jefferson. Legislators cannot invent too many ways to subdivide property. They understood this. If you go to our website, thethirdwaybook.com, you will see the first four presidents of the United States, Washington, Jefferson, Adams, and Madison, all advocating this idea. This is not a new idea. They understood that you have to have property in addition to your wage in order to create wealth.
Okay, I understand. But my question...
Trump is punching a clock. Give me a break. He has capital working for him. That's how the wealth is created. The rich know this.
Right. Okay. But my question is not to question that philosophy. I'm not questioning that. My question is, do you mandate what that philosophy implies? No. Do you mandate it, or do you campaign so people do it voluntarily?
But you incentivize it.
Right. I think what we're advocating for is that United States, we pay the highest taxes in the world, like 35%.
Corporate.
Yeah, corporate taxes, and we are trying to say that if you give 50% tax credits, that those tax credits can be used only for providing employee ownership. So basically, it's an incentive for corporations to redesign.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So it's an incentive. It's not mandated. There's an incentive, and is the incentive paid? Is the incentive paid for by the taxpayer?
Listen, I'm a Republican. That's verboten. We do not mandate. It's all incentivized.
But is the incentive paid for? Is the incentive paid for by the taxpayer?
No. We basically have three parts of our plan. I'll give you the top two.
Okay.
Number one is we have the highest corporate tax rate in the world. Everybody knows it's a really stupid way to tax. A lot of the Republicans are saying to cut that tax. Some of the Democrats are saying that too. But we're saying is, and this is a Republican talking, not one dime of tax cuts unless it's shared in the form of equity with the workers. That's the other shoe that's not dropped. That's what they're not hearing. Because and I ask you, Larry and Robin, have you heard any elected officials talking about capital wealth? There's a lot of talk today about minimum wage. How pathetic. In the greatest nation on earth, we're focused on something, the minimum wage. Here's another few crumbs for you. How about maximum capital accumulation? Maximum capital wealth creation. That's what our book is about. That's where the money is.
Okay.
Let me give you some statistics. Go ahead.
Well, real quickly, a question. Are there any corporations in America that already do this? Like, do we have a role model, an example?
Yeah.
Most of Silicon Valley, you have the Microsoft, Google, Cisco, all that, and then you have companies like AT&T, GM, Exxon, Mobil. All these companies provide employee ownership.
Yeah, Larry, this is the greatest idea in the world no one's ever heard of. More than 10,000 companies are doing this, and nearly 15 million Americans are involved in these kinds of plans. The trouble is, what about the other 250 million people?
Okay, all right. Well,
they're okay.
You're making
It's the other ones.
You're making good points. There's a part of this, I just want to apologize. It sounds like we're talking over each other, and I definitely don't want you to think I'm doing that on purpose. There must be a delay or something.
I think it's the connection.
Because it might be the connection or something, and I apologize if it sounds like I'm doing that. I don't intend to do that, but I do want to make sure that I ask the questions that I think our listeners probably want to know. Ultimately, the answers to the questions about the book will be in the book. The book is called The Third Way. Let's take a little break, and I'm probably going to mispronounce their names again, but we'll take a break. After the break, we'll be right back. This is an interesting conversation, and I love it because my intro probably is still true for a lot of young people today. Not even necessarily young people. They're probably, scraping by and somebody else in the business is on a yacht. Veni Musum and Upendra Shivakula. The book is called The Third Way. We'll be right back after the break. This is WOCA Ocala.
Brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sun and cool for Wednesday. Highs in the low to mid 60s. Partly cloudy and rather chilly winds tonight with a low in the upper 30s in a few inland spots, about 51 along the coast. For Thursday, mostly cloudy, high 66 to 70. Friday, cloudy, breezy, and warmer with some rain at times, even a thunderstorm that'll taper to an afternoon shower, the high 72 to 77. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
19 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Veni Musum and Upendra Shivakula are on the phone. And gentlemen, I am so sorry. I'm probably mispronouncing your name. Your topic is something we all want to know more about. The book is called The Third Way, The Economic Reform of Social Revolution, the Solution to Income Inequality. When we hear the candidates talking about what they're going to do, like you mentioned, none of them bring anything that even resembles this up.
Oh, that's the problem. That's the problem. And we have literally held back, Dan, to this exact moment in history to unleash this, and it's literally causing a tsunami. Our website has crashed like 3 times. It's being inundated. We're being inundated with calls from the media. We were just on Voice of America yesterday, broadcasting all over the world. The Voice of America. They were so overwhelmed. They said to us, "Can you please come back? We want to have a special broadcast of you." They found out that Pendra's wife was Cuban. They want to bring us back with a special broadcast of this message directly into Cuba.
Oh, really?
Because they realize this is the hope of the world. You know, I said to Robin in the break, one of the things we've been saying is save the world, save the country, save yourself. Learn what's in this book. This book is something that your listeners will literally pass down from generation to generation as a treasure to show them the most fundamental way to acquire and retain capital. In the information age, you just can't make it on wages alone. You have to have wage wealth and income wealth. And I challenge you, Larry and Robin, is anyone else talking about this? No. And what we say is, don't look to the elected officials for the solutions. They don't even know what the problem is. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Okay, so let's assume that one of them listens to what you have to say and decides to implement it. That would be requiring, since it's not going to be mandated, it would be requiring what, some tax law changes?
Yes, you got to. We have the highest corporate tax in the world, 35%, and if giving tax cuts through tax credits, that money can be only can be used towards giving ownership of the companies. There are several programs, whether it's the ESOP, which is the Employee Stock Ownership Plan. There's also ESO, which is the Employee Stock Ownership and Stock Purchase Plan. There are a number of things how you implement that, but giving that incentive through the tax cuts and also enabling the banks. Like a lot of the banks, they can get tax cut on the earned interest income. They can loan the money for corporations to set up the ESOP plan, and so that way they can share the wealth. I think this has been going on for some time, but I think unfortunately the U.S. Congress, they under the presidents George Herbert Walker Bush and President Clinton,
right.
They cut the loan. I think we need to reinstate that. Also, at the state level, if you look at Iowa, the Governor Branstad had signed a bill into law where for privately held corporations under 500 employees, they can share their wealth with their employees, and they get the 30% state tax credit.
Dan, Senator brought up a great point. The three-point plan: cut the 35%, 100% in these urban or rural enterprise zones, and bring back the 50% tax credit income exclusion for banks that make these low-interest loans. This was the third part was in place. It was taken away by former Presidents Bush and Clinton. You talk about one of the dumbest public policies. That's where I have to agree with Trump. We have got some of the dumbest people, and who led the charge to get rid of this proposal? Do you remember good old Dan Rostenkowski, the chairman of the Ways and Means, the guy that went to jail? These are the kind of nincompoops running the country.
All right.
Just this morning.
All right. I'm enjoying this conversation, and I can see why it's so popular. The book is called The Third Way. I have a quick question about small businesses. If this was implemented, and suddenly the guy who works in the deli, who has two bosses and they happen to be married to each other, so there's like two owners and one employee, and they're doing their best to make sure this employee is getting a reasonable salary. All of a sudden, he feels.
I think they can.
Oh, okay. Let me just finish. All of a sudden, he hears that that IBM, 2 blocks over, is paying 3 times as much as he's getting. So he leaves the deli and leaves the deli owners with nobody to work for him. Is there a solution to that problem?
Well, I mean, listen. No one can say that the wage side of the equation is really important. I mean, you obviously want to work for a good wage, but we're saying we want both for the people, because the long-term wealth creation comes from capital. Let me give you a couple data points, Dan. These are very, very important. The Congressional Budget Office recently released a report that's out of Congress saying that over the last several years, the top 1%, their income has increased by, ready for this, over 275%, while the rest of us, the bottom quintiles, medium bottom, has either been stagnant or declined. Second data point, Brookings Institute just released a report saying that the top 20%, all capital wealth and capital income has gone, 86% of it has gone to the top 20%. My math tells me that leaves the bottom 14%, the bottom 80% with only 14% of capital. That's where the money is. The money is in wages and in capital. The rich know this. Dan, any billionaire or millionaire listening to your show already knows what's in our book, okay? It's the poor and the middle class that do not.
Yeah, right.
We need to solve that problem.
Okay. And
it's Larry, by the way.
That's okay. I'm mispronouncing their name. They can say the wrong name. It's okay. The Third Way is the book. Okay, I'm really interested in the book. I don't think I have it, right, Robin?
No,
it didn't come.
Not yet.
So before we run out of time, I want our listeners to know how to get it, and I want you to send one to every candidate.
Yes.
because they need a free book.
Power to the people. Power to the people. That's what we're about. And let me I got to get this in, Dan. Oh, yeah. In the thirdwaybook.com. The thirdwaybook.com. Now, just this morning on the Morning Joe, PBS, and this is Travis Smiley, no right-winger, he said, and I'm going to give his exact quote, "It pains me to say this, but in the last 10 years, the bottom has dropped out for black Americans during the Obama presidency." This is Tavis Smiley, PBS, MSNBC. So he knows that this idea has failed miserably because they're doing the redistribution left-wing way, and the other way is this other false choice of plutocracy.
What is it?
I just gave you the data showing that is inequality. You need a third way. That's the way to save the country.
All right. So is your conclusion that the reason we made some of these dumb moves was because of people like, I don't know, they always blame the Koch brothers. I'll just name them, for example. Are the lobbyists getting our politicians to make bad decisions on their behalf? And it hurts the rest of us?
Well, I think, politicians, they're very narrow, short-term focus. This type of ownership and inclusive capitalism, in order for your stock to grow, it takes some time. And so they are only interested in the short-term, and they're not looking at the long-term. And they're also getting very bad advice from the lobbyists because they have special interests.
What I'm about to say, your listeners are going to probably pull off to the side of the road and start screaming. All right. There's a very small little note in the IRS code 162M, and what it says is the following: that the corporations, the top earners, can deduct the salary up to $1 million. So there's a cap on that, but there's an unlimited amount they can give for incentive pay. So they can deduct as much as that. So what do? They compensate the top-end people with capital, with stock options. They know where the money is. This is a very small. So this is why the rich are getting much, much richer. And this is a right-wing Republican talking here.
I hear you.
Saying
Yeah.
Don't punish them. Let everyone else get in on it. Let everyone else get in on the game. And let's have some public policy to promote this idea with some people with some brains. Donald Trump's right. We've got a lot of stupid people running the country. Wake up and read The Third Way.
All right, Veni and Pendra, thank you both for being on the air with us. I want to make sure the listeners can get the book. So let's take the next minute that we have and give them that information. Again, it's called The Third Way, and give us the information. Is it Amazon? Do you have a website?
Yeah, The Third Way with the number 3. THE number 3 RD WAY book BOOK.com.
Okay. All right.
Thirdwaybook.com.
Yeah, and it's on Amazon. Just put in The Third Way and you'll see it. This is the way we want to save the country. That's what we're about. That's what we care about.
Well, if what you say makes sense, and you were able to dodge harder questions than I even asked, but I don't think I asked hard ones. I think these are the questions that the American people want to know, though, based on what you were saying. So, So go to thethirdway.com, the 3rdwaybook.com. Robin will put it up on Facebook and YouTube, and so this interview will also be there as well, by the way. Guys, thank you for what you're doing. I think you're making America much greater. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry, for doing this. It's a patriotic thing you're doing to get the message out to help save the country, and people can save themselves, too.
There you go.
Learning what's in the book.
Ultimately, that's what we're supposed to be about, doing it for ourselves. Thank you, guys. We'll take a break and be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president giving his vision for the country, saying the state of our union is strong.
Surveys show our standing around the world is higher than when I was elected to this office, and when it comes to every important international issue, People of the world do not look to Beijing or Moscow to lead, they call us.
He spends time in Nebraska and Louisiana today, where he'll likely underscore the points he made in his address last night. Investigators in Brussels reporting progress in their investigation into the deadly Paris attack.
Belgian police saying they've identified 2 apartments and 1 house used by key suspects as they prepared to hit Paris in November. All 3 addresses were rented under false names and paid for in cash.
Fox Radio's Simon Owen. And tonight's Powerball jackpot, $1.5 billion. Fox News, we report. You decide.
Not many people like to shave. No matter how much you pay for a razor with multiple blades or fancy handles, you still get nicks, cuts, and razor burn. Shave Secret is a shaving oil that can completely replace any shaving cream and pre-shave treatment you've ever used. Do yourself and your skin a favor. Minimize the nicks, cuts, burns, and bumps, and try Shave Secret for the best shave you've ever had. Shave Secret is available at Walmart Supercenters, the Navy Exchange, online at shavesecret.com and Amazon.com.
Tammy's blood boiled.
This is ridiculous.
How dare they not let her on the cheer squad?
Who wants to cheer?
She could totally cheer as good as those other girls, especially Mara. Well, Tammy would get her revenge. She found Mara's car and her brand new cheer uniform was hanging right in the window. She reached in and stole it. Then the theft was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Cheer Burglar, January 19th, 2014. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Looking to put your money to work? Florida Credit Union has 3 CD specials: 12 months for 1.05% APY, 24 months for 1.50% APY, and 36 months for 1.75% APY each, with a $10,000 minimum. Federally insured by the NCUA. APY equals annual percentage yield. These rates effective through February 28, 2016, subject to change at any time. Visit one of Florida Credit Union's convenient locations today or their website at flcu.org.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Located in Ocala, Renstar Medical Research has offered a wide range of clinical research trials for 17 years. Renstar conducts clinical trials for conditions such as migraines, memory decline, fibromyalgia, and sun-damaged skin. To learn more, call Renstar at 352-629-5800. Help us create a healthier